First of all, let me welcome you everyone here on our webinar, when you will learn more about how memoQ and SYSTRAN can be integrated and what they can do together. Before we jump into the presentation, let me do a quick housekeeping. The webinar itself will be recording and we will send it to you. It will be around 45 minutes long, and then we will have a Q&A section to make sure that we receive all of your questions and we can answer them properly. Please use Zoom's Q&A section. For that you can find it down on the Zoom panel. And who will answer those questions for you? We have a SYSTRAN presenter, Alice Bertin-Lemire, who is an AI and machine learning product manager, and Levente Bundik, who is a solution engineer at memoQ. Guys, if you're around, let me pass the mic to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Alice. Guillaume, our group product manager, is unfortunately absent, but I'll be glad to present our latest technology to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Levente from memoQ, and I will be showing off how NFA works in memoQ.
Thank you, guys. So quickly about the content, we will start with some company introductions. Then you will see what is the NFA means in short, and then how does that work in memoQ. memoQ is a Hungarian-based company. We have 3 offices. Our headquarters are in Budapest, but we have an office in Vancouver and one in Bonn, and also one in Gyula, which is here in Hungary as well. We have more than 130 people worldwide, speaking more than 15 languages. And tons of companies uses memoQ, so I'm sure that all of you met with memoQ's name before. And we are available for everyone. We have a solution for freelancers and for companies as well, which is called memoQ TMs. That will be what you will learn more about today, and how it can be integrated with SYSTRAN.
Great, thanks for this introduction. So I'm Alice, AI ML product manager at SYSTRAN, that I'm going to quickly introduce. So established in 1968, SYSTRAN is a pure player and pioneer in the machine translation industry. It's always at the forefront of innovation, as we help hundreds of corporates and public organizations to enhance worldwide collaboration, localize content, understand multilingual resources, always in a faster and cheaper way to accelerate their global business. So we are a pioneer in machine translation with over 50 years of existence already. We initiated major innovations in the field, including the first web-based translation portals in the 2000 years. And more recently, in 2016, we introduced state-of-the-art machine translation technology based on artificial intelligence and neural networks, resulting in outstanding quality close to human translation. Also, since last year, we propose online self-training of SYSTRAN translation models. So you provide the data and business expertise, we provide the technology, and you get your own tailored translation model. SYSTRAN is industry-leading machine translation platform that is used in enterprises globally to improve multilingual communication. Better together than alone, we use a combination of AI and MT technology to provide users with the most efficient, accurate, and secure solution. NMT, like neural machine translation, has been really a revolutionary approach to machine translation, using artificial neural networks that can predict the probability of a word sequence in source and target language. SYSTRAN's advanced solution can model entire sentences and leverage AI and empty technology to really increase internal and external communication for businesses. This enables us to be the reference translation software provider for global companies, public organizations, and governments. We have built strong linguistic expertise with more than 50 languages available in our catalog as of today. In addition, working with customers in many professional fields such as legal, medical, technical, really enabled us to develop tailored translation for each industry, especially in the following use cases, as you can see here, like customer service and support, sales and marketing, compliance and monitoring, legal and e-discovery, forensic services, communication and collaboration in secure environment, education and e-learning, customer support, and government solution. As a pure player in machine translation, research and development is really our priority to deliver state-of-the-art technology and products with regular technology updates, and with the constant search to offer you the best experience, you as professional users. And we believe that technology is a tool to enhance human expertise, your human expertise, and we have developed our new NFA technology just right in this spirit. Now, if you're ready for that, let's dive into today's topic, which is NFA. So what's behind this acronym? Let's get to know it. NFA is actually our 3 simple letters for a concept, which is also quite simple, but powered by smart technology. So it stands for Neural Fuzzy Adaptation. Let's go over these terms. Neural for neural network technology, which you may know is a method in artificial intelligence that teaches computers to process data in a way that is inspired by the human brain. Fuzzy for fuzzy matching, which helps browse through translation memories for a certain sentence to find similar matches. This is already currently used by human translators to reduce post-edition effort. Just as a side note, the translation memory, so that we're all on the same page, we understand it as a database that stores segments of text and their corresponding translations that have been validated. So segments can be sentences, paragraphs, or sentence-like units, headings, titles, elements in a list, or others. And the last word of our NFA is adaptation, because in order to enable the neural machine translation model to consider fuzzy matches in the same way a human would, we offered the similar matches as a base to adapt its translation, and they therefore capture both benefices in a single framework. Here are a few things to consider. So the technology is not an additional fuzzy repair algorithm that runs after translation. It doesn't identify the differences between the sentences to translate and how to fix them. It doesn't provide that to the user. The use of TM matches relies on the idea that repairing a given TM match requires less effort than producing a translation from scratch, but it repairs it itself. It leads to higher productivity and consistency rates. So it takes inspiration from the same fuzzy, but it's not a fuzzy repair. Also, the higher the fuzzy match will be, the higher the probability that the translation will be improved. So under a certain rate, fuzzy could be counterproductive, but we take that into account in the setup so that high fuzzy means high improvement potential. And the last aspect is quantity. The more fuzzy you retrieve, the closest your text to translate will be from your existing translation memories, the more impact you will have and the best translation you will obtain. As a summary, we could say that NFA significantly improves empty quality by customizing output in real time while offering consistency with previous translations. And it brings a significant improvement in MT quality. It increases productivity, in particular by reducing post-editing effort. Also, your MT translation will be boosted by the NFA to better match the tone and context of your test, while taking inspiration from your translation memories. And the translation quality of new content, which means not already seen by the engine during the engine, will be also enhanced during NFA. So productivity, post-edition effort, MT output, and translation quality, all these aspects brings you to reduce cost of machine translation. And the qualitative benefit is also that it adapts translation to your, as an author, style and consistent brand voice, with a better style, formulation, lexical choice, especially in specific context, and also in context entity formatting. Specifically, you can have a particular way to handle dates, currency, and NFA will also take that into account to respect your choices in translation. So it allows for faster and more accurate translations. It's a real and significant improvement in machine translation quality today. To support that assessment, you may be wondering what it gives in terms of gains in scores. So speaking of quality and accuracy, the impact could be comparable to machine translation engine specialization, a service that you know we offer, but that requires time, significant data volume, and technical expertise. And if you combine engine specialization with neural fuzzy adaptations, it actually becomes a must to achieve the highest levels of translation quality. Here's an idea of what you could expect taking the BLEU score, so bilingual evaluation under study, as a reference. It's a widely used score for machine translation. So based on our publications and also our internal studies with real customers' data, considering you have a large translation memory of at least several thousand sentences and a text to be translated that is really close to the TM. So by really close, I mean a significant part of your text will have fuzzy matches greater than 70% in this TM. Then on the match TM, the match segment, the gain magnitude to expect can be as high as follows. So for a translation using a generic model with NFA, you can improve the generic score to 10 to 20 BLEU points. With a translation using a specialized model with the TM, so without NFA, you can improve the generic score to 25 to 35 BLEU points. And a translation using a specialized model, but with NFA, can improve the generic score to 30 to 40 BLEU points. And here, I'm not talking about BLEU score themselves, but BLEU score gains from a baseline generic model. And those of the attendees who daily use BLEU scores know it's a really high improvement that is expected then. But recall that the more fuzzy matches are found between your text and your TM, the higher the expected gain with NFA. And results can vary according to this similarity rate. Now let's quickly explain how it works. So given a text to translate, memoQ sends fuzzy matches to SYSTRAN neural machine translation engine as reference material. Those fuzzy matches come from the translation memory that is, you have been validated with as a customer. And these fuzzy matches provide additional clues to the SYSTRAN-MT engine. Translation memories and machine translation work hand in hand to find the best translation. Then the quality of machine translation gets optimized in real time by Neural Fuzzy Adaptation, NFA, based on validated content stored in the TM to produce enhanced empty translation. So in a sense, NFA mimics the result of the work of a human translator repairing a TM match. The English sentence, "How long does the flight last?" is here translated into French. So we consider the TM match, "How long does the flu last?" which means "Quelle est la durée d'une grippe?" Then the human would identify mismatches between input sentence and TM match, the flight and a flu, translate in context the missing sequence of the input sentence, the flight and le vol. It would integrate the translation of the previous missing sequence into the TM match to complete the translation of the input sentence. And that way, checking word agreement and verifying the overall meaning of the resulting translation, here transforming le vol in du vol, and to have the result of how long does the flight last, being quelle est la durée du vol. Well, for the machine, it goes through different steps than the human, but it achieves the same result. So as told before, NFA is not a fuzzy repair, but with NFA technology, SYSTRAN translations can be directly inspired on the fly by sample sentences provided in the translation request. If one is able to provide a TM, a translation memory close to the one to be translated by the engine, then this TM will be used by the model during the translation process. Let's get to an example with a source text in French. Here, indiqué par sélection l'usage de la notation binaire pour des nombres octaux. The engine translation without NFA would be specified by selection the use of binary notation for octal numbers. And in this case, we have a corresponding TM, which is in source indiqué l'usage de la notation binaire pour des nombres hexadécimaux, translated by select to use binary notation for hexadecimal numbers. This TM has a fuzzy match of 71% in with original source text, and so will be used by the NFA to enhance the machine translation with the more fluent select use instead of specify by selection the use of. And the enhanced MT produced by NFA becomes select to use binary notation for octal numbers. I hope this example was speaking to you. And to conclude, we can offer this technology NFA in more than 130 language pairs as of today, including 85 SYSTRAN generic language pairs and some of our SYSTRAN domain engines and specialization. Thank you for your attention. It's really nice to see so many attendees, and I will now hand over to Levente to talk about how memoQ is using our NFA technology to improve translation.
Thank you, Alice. So let me show you around how you can enable the NFA feature in memoQ. As you can see, I already have my project set up, and in the MT settings, we now have an option here to send best fuzzy TM match to, and this allows the SYSTRAN-MT plugin to use NFA with your best fuzzy TM matches. As the next step, I want to show you how the MT first would translate my examples. As you can see, we have these MT results here. Let me just quickly insert all of these so I can show you the difference between using NFA and not using it. And as the next step, I will now add a translation memory to this project, which has fuzzy matches for these translations. And now you can see that we have the fuzzy, and you can also see the difference. So here, for example, this is the example that Alice provided, and you can already see how the fuzzy wording was used by SYSTRAN to modify this. And you can already see here as well, include changes to insert as it is in the fuzzy. So it's really useful. It's really visual how it changes the wording more in every segment. And another thing that you can do with NFA is if you modify your TM settings to modify the fuzzy range, it will also modify. So let me just go back here. And let me modify my fuzzy range so you can see. So the minimum threshold is now 60. And if I push it back to 75, now you can see that, yes, 79 is still there, but now fuzzies are not taken into consideration as they are no longer considered. And this is how you can manage NFA from memoQ. So basically using the same TM settings to modify your fuzzies will let you modify how NFA works. And basically this is how it works in memoQ. So I think we can start the Q&A, and I can already see 4 questions. So let me stop sharing.
Yeah, thank you for the presentations. We have a lot of questions, luckily, that came in already. So let me just start with the first one. Is the system able to switch between desired styles? For example, in medical translation between patient-friendly language and documents aimed to healthcare professionals.
I can take this question even if it's not really related to NFA. Our systems in SYSTRAN can be tailored to one domain, and they can also be on the fly adapted to different formality levels, formal or informal. So it could serve this use case, but it's not related to NFA functionality.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to the second questions. Does NFA work when you do a pre-translation with MT, or does it only work during live translation?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I think, as you've seen in the demonstration by Levente, NFA really happens when you do a pre-translation with MT in your project. So you both see the translation without the NFA and with NFA. So then you're able to choose. You have both results at the same time, and you're able to choose which results best suit your needs.
Thank you. Levente, is there anything that you would like to add to this one?
Yeah, I really just wanted to add that, yes, it will happen. It will work with pre-translation as well. So not just during live translation.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, does the NFA get triggered during the translation request? And if so, does it add processing time to the overall request result time?
It's a good question, and indeed, it gets triggered during the translation request. So, but the fuzzy matching has been optimized so that the processing time is really quick. So, of course, for the model, it's a bit more information to process. So we can expect a slightly longer time, but it's really not significant, and the overall request result time is really maintained into the levels that we know of today of simple translation. As you've seen in the demonstration, there's you could see both translations at the same time.
Thank you. If I understood correctly, the NFA uses the TMs that were not available before. If we are talking about translating content with a custom model that was trained on client's content before. Is this statement true?
Yes, exactly. It can enable to, I mean, it can be both, actually. You can provide as TM the same TMs that you provided for specialization. So then your model will have two ways to use the data that you've validated, either in its training, and also you have a way to interact with the translation it computes with by giving it inspiration on the fly from your TMs. So that's the specialized model plus NFA way. But you can also as well provide new TMs that you haven't provided for a custom model, and it will also bring improvements, but different improvement, of course.
Thank you. The next one is, what is the minimum recommended fuzzy match to be useful to NFA?
So as we've said, the highest, the higher the rate, the more useful the fuzzy. But in general, we consider 70% as a sweet spot where fuzzy matches that are higher than 17% are in general really useful for the translation and do not decrease but only have a positive impact on the translation result.
Thank you. Anything from you, Levente, to add to this one?
Yeah, it's really that, yeah, as Alice mentioned, there is a sweet spot for this, but you can configure it how you like. So as you were able to see, I could have gone lower. There weren't any lower matches, any lower fuzzies than 60, for example. But if you want to use those, you can still work with that as well. So.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, how does SYSTRAN protect security of confidential document content?
Okay, so apart from NFA, we always perform file translation on secure servers where we do not consult at all the data that is being translated. So it either on a single tenant or multi-tenant cloud solutions or secure owned servers by the customer. We never have access to the confidential or not the data that is translated.
Thank you. Are the data of the post-edited sentences stored by SYSTRAN in their engine?
No, it follows my answer from to the previous question. Since we do not have access for confidentiality reasons to the data that it translated, the same way we do not store the post-edited sentences except if you work inside the SYSTRAN environment, or you can store the post-edited sentence inside memoQ or inside the SYSTRAN environment, but it's not stored in the engine, and it's not used by the engine, and not it's only accessible to you, not to us, SYSTRAN.
Thank you. And I believe the next question is kind of for the same topic as well. Is NFA capable of machine learning and improve the TM as long as it is used?
So it's an interesting question. In a sense, it improves the TM because the happier you are about your translation, the more prone you are to store it in a TM and validate it. But it's really the idea behind NFA is to simplify a step further the work that was usually you pre-translate with machine translation your content and then you post-edit. Here you have an additional step to improve this flow, where with the fuzzy matches, you could, a first step was to detect them, to be able to, depending on the rate of the fuzzy matches, you could allow more or less post-editing effort to these segments. Here we are going a step further with allowing you to allowing the model, to propose you directly a translation directly inspired by your TM. So it already provides a modification that you could have been doing by a human translator. But as I think the question is mentioning is that since we do not store and take these post-edited sentence to reintegrate them in the model, it's not, there's no machine learning derived from the post-edited segments.
Thank you. Anything from memoQ's side, Levente?
I would say this is really more on the side of SYSTRAN, but yeah, I would agree with everything that Alice said on this. So,
okay, thank you. Then let me go to the next question. Is NFA offered as a part of basic SYSTRAN model, or is it offered as an additional service package?
NFA is part of our generic system. So it's available, as I said, in more than 130 language pairs at the moment.
Thank you. The next question is, if there is more than one TM with high match for the process segment, what the system choose which TM should be used for NFA?
Yeah, good question. So we at the moment the system chooses the TM with the highest match, but we are also working in our labs on solutions where the system could get inspired by several matches, especially if they have a different coverage in the sentence. For example, if there are not two TMs that bring the same improvement to the translation, but a TM that bring different improvements to the translation. And we can easily imagine a situation where we have two different sentences bringing two different lexical or style improvement, and that could be used with NFA. So it's an enhancement that we are working on the research side.
Thank you for that. The next one is, will it be possible in the future that SYSTRAN learns directly from the corrections in memoQ instead of having to retrain the engine regularly?
Yeah, as I said before, we are interested in making steps towards more and more adaptive translation. And so NFA is already a step in this path. We are investigating what would be the best solution in this respect, because it also comes with processing and performance considerations.
Thank you. Is there a limit on how many TMs the NFA can work with in one project?
There's no such limitation on SYSTRAN's part. I don't know about memoQ.
And none on our part as well. So yeah, this is what I thought. So as we have no limitation on how many TMs you can include as many as you want, and then NFA will choose the best fuzzy for the task. So I think that answers that.
Yep, thank you. How does the formatting adaptation work? Do you have to define rules? If yes, where?
Interesting. No, that's the beauty of it. There's no rules to define. There's only your style to respect in your TM. Since you validate this content as respectful to your rules or to your formatting, it means for the model, for example, let's say if you format date in American date format, the model may have been trained differently, but it will see in your TM that you respect this formatting. And so it will trigger, if from the source it can trigger the fuzzy match, then the NFA inspired translation will likely respect this formatting. So the adaptation is made directly by the model by finding similarities with your TM.
Great, thank you, Alice. And finally, a question to Levente. Is NFA only available in the newest version of memoQ, or is it backwards compatibility?
Okay, so NFA was published in 10.0, so I would say yes, 10 point up from 10.0 you can use NFA, and it's basically it.
Thank you. The next question is, apart from the clear application to fuzzies, is the general idea of NFA to teach the generic MT in order to improve the quality of MT applied on no-match words?
It can be one use, but the situation where NFA will help mostly will be when the translation model has a translation to propose, but it's a bit more sticking to the source, and you have clear expectations in targets. You have expectations in terms of wording of the sentence structure, lexical choices, and the NFA will enable to take advantage of these similarities.
Thank you. The next question is, what if there is 3 TM with the same match?
So this is probably decided in the particular algorithm detail, but basically one of them, if they have exactly the same fuzzy score, one of them only will be considered at the moment, but it's a rare situation. Like there is usually a bit of difference, and one has usually a higher rate.
Thank you. And the last question, oh, sorry, now just one came in after this one. So what about pricing? Do I need a monthly account, or is there also a pay-as-you-go account?
About SYSTRAN, we have a different pricing and offers, and so both are existing. And as I said, NFA is a feature included in our generic models, so it's not a separate offer.
Yeah, I would say that this question was more about the NFA and SYSTRAN. So
Yeah, but
I think you answered it. Yeah.
in memoQ we don't have a pay as you.
No, it's it's included. It's there
Mhm.
in memoQ, so you don't have to pay for using NFA, as you don't have to separately pay for using any empty plugin, really. So
Thank you. Are there considerations on memoQ side to also send context to improve the NMT? For example, the last X segments on their translations.
I would say I don't really have an answer right now for this one. I'm not sure if, Alice, if you have any information on this, if we are working on this together, but I will check with our team. So
At SYSTRAN, we are considering experiments where we send context to improve the NMT, but it's not included in our current models.
Thank you very much. And our last question is the ability to enable or disable NFA via the API?
As for SYSTRAN's API, yes, currently NFA within the API works with string only and not with TMs. So you have to provide the fuzzy segment, and we are working on the more seamless integration.
okay. Yeah, so the question is on memoQ API, and I would say I can't confirm or decline this one. Right now, I will also check, of course. But yeah, right now I don't really know. We have the UI option to do so, and
Okay.
yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you very much for the lot of questions. We had really great amount of them. Hope you all enjoyed this webinar. Thank you, Alice and Levente, for the presentations. We'll send you the recordings in a few days, and we'll also include the Q&A sheet where you can find the timestamped answers for all the questions. And for the questions that our panelists couldn't answer live right now, we will include their answers there as well. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being here with us. Again, thank you, Alice, and thank you, Levente. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. We're eager to see more and more NFA users.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.